Real quickly before we begin, I want to thank this video's sponsor, CarMarshal.com. CarMarshal.com can save you lots of money on buying used or new vehicles, cars, trucks, school buses. If you want to save money, I'll have a link in the description down below. I know I'm going to...
Right now, a look at what else is going on here in the Metro today. We begin with an update from Overland Park Police on the investigation of a teenager who was shot by an officer outside of his home last month. Kasey TV5's Caroline Sweeney joins us now with the latest on that story. Caroline?
Well, Caroline, today we got an up-close look at what happened the day a police officer shot and killed a teen in Overland Park that they say was suicidal. And earlier this morning, the Johnson County District Attorney says what the police officer did that day was justified. The dash cam video is intense and shows us what happens in the moments leading up to when the teen was shot and killed. Now, we are going to freeze the video before you see the gunshots, but you can see the van moving down the driveway toward the police officers. And Steve Howe says he wanted to release the video because there's a lot of misinformation coming out on social media. Howe says the car, the minivan that you can see driving out of the driveway, played an important role in what investigators finally determined what happened.
And based on the actions of that vehicle, it was the determination of this office that the officer had a reasonable belief that his life was threatened, and then used deadly force.
Now, Howe had a very long discussion with the media about why he thought it was important to release the video. And before he had this press conference today, he says he spoke with the family and made the video available to them. Live in Olathe at the Johnson County District Attorney's Office, Caroline Sweeney, Kasey TV5 News.
Watch, Kansas family sues police after teen son killed in mom's minivan while backing out of driveway. Overland Park police have gotten away with what seems to be murder in the suburban county outside of Kansas City. Below the fold you can watch two reports and videos on the January 20th shooting death of 17-year-old John Albers by Overland Park officer Clayton Jennison. Jennison shot Albers as the teen backed out of his family's garage while driving his mother's minivan. Police were responding to calls concerning a threat of suicide Albers had allegedly made to friends over FaceTime. His parents are now suing after Johnson County prosecutor Steve Howe and his investigation concluded that the shooting was justified. The officer acted recklessly and deliberately when he shot and killed Albers, who may not have known police were at his home and was simply backing his mom's minivan out of the family garage, the lawsuit says. A vehicle passing a police officer does not give that officer an ongoing license to kill an unthreatening citizen, it says. It is unclear whether or not Albers even knew the police officer was at his home as he began slowly backing out of his family's garage and down their suburban driveway. In the video you can see that Albers is potentially shot and loses control at that point, as more police vehicles happen to converge on the scene right at that time. After Officer Jennison unholsters his gun and shoots twice, as Albers slowly rolls his mother's minivan about a car's length out of their garage, the brakes go on and then the car begins backing up and turning wildly. It is at that point that Jennison unloads another 11 or so shots into the minivan. When they arrived at the home, two officers never announced their presence at the residence or even knocked on the door, the complaint alleges. Several minutes later, the family's two-car garage door began to rise, according to the lawsuit. Officer Jennison began moving toward the vehicle and unholstered his weapon, as Albers backed out of the garage at about 2.5 miles per hour in a straight line, the lawsuit alleges, noting that the officer's actions were contrary to department policies and general law enforcement standards. Jennison allegedly yelled "Stop! Stop! Stop!" and waited only 1 second before he fired his pistol twice at Albers. The Daily Beast says that Albers was hit 6 times, in the face, in his neck, in his head, in his chest, and in his torso. Johnson County prosecutor Steve Howe told reporters that none of us can be in the mind of the officer at that time. This is a meaningless thing to say. Whether that officer had incorrectly feared for his life or not is immaterial when your job is to not kill people, especially kids who have committed no crimes and are in distress. According to the Kansas City Star, Jennison has already resigned from the force for personal reasons, and is an Iraq War veteran with 2 young children. Jennison's father, Cecil Jennison, reached by phone at his home in Wellsville, New York, said Jennison served in military combat in Iraq and Afghanistan and has been out of the service for a couple of years. Jennison recently became the father of twin daughters, his father said. Attempts to reach Clayton Jennison for comment Tuesday afternoon were unsuccessful. No one answered the door at his Olathe home, and a message for the attorney representing both Jennison and the city was not immediately returned. Warning, the video below is graphic.
It looks like they don't have a phone number. He's communicating via iPad. Okay, Mom. We'll try to get an address for it. Copy. Do you have the nickname correct? Be right.
What the fuck? Out the car! Stop! Stop, John! Stop the car! Shit! Shots fired. He's down. We need medical aid. John! God damn it. Pop up. John, are you okay? Oh, shit. All right. Hey, all right, are you okay? No, I'll run back and grab it. That's this Mom. Hi, Megan. Hey, we're gonna have you hang back here. Do you have a phone number for him?
For the kid?
Yeah.
I have his mother.
Okay. Does she have his phone number?
Yeah, I can get it.
Okay. Oh, wait. Hey. Yeah. Hey, deep breaths, man. Deep breaths. Hey. Yeah. Are you okay? Yeah. Here, come here, buddy. Come over here. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, here, come over here, bud. Come on. Hey, man. I know.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I just wanted you to know that I am using this stuff under fair use, and also remember to like and subscribe this channel. Also too, keep in mind I do not make any money on YouTube. This is 5 hours work a day, you know, fighting for freedom. And you can donate with PayPal and Patreon. I just want you to think about this. If everybody gives to PayPal and Patreon, Patreon is every month. Actually, PayPal you can do every month. I have 12,000 subscribers. If everybody gives, I can quit my regular job and go full-time investigations on Charlotte County and possibly even more and beyond. So just keep that in mind. If everybody helps out, I can go full time doing this. Thanks.